It's Halloween. It's a frightening time, and I'm in a frightening getup, as you can see. I'm a bubonic plague doctor. You would have seen characters like this roaming around the streets of London in the mid to late 1600s. Fascinating, isn't it? Well, beyond that, we've got the Week 8 recap tonight. And Week 8 was a wild one. Highest scoring week of the season so far, I would imagine. I didn't do the math on it, but it felt like it. The cut line this week, this is the headline for sure. The cut line to win the second matchup, 142.1. It was the first time that it was over 125 all year. And it was only the third time that it was over 120. So pretty shocking that to be in the top six, you had to be that high up, because we've seen weeks it's been down around more like 105, 108, 113. That's been more of the norm. Here we are in week number 8. We get a 142.1. That's what you needed. So, yeah, wild stuff. And we've hit the back half of the regular season now. So, we've got things bunched up. I'm going to be rambling here for a second as I wait for tonight's guest to join. I first have to send the email link. I forgot to do that because I was so preoccupied with my bubonic plague getup. Bubonic plague, by the way, what a horrible, horrible way to go that was back in the day. But yeah, we've got only 4 teams above 500, but Peter's only a couple games over at 9-7. We basically only have the 3 teams that have separated themselves, and then it is just a log jam. And I'll tell you what, those 3 8-8 teams, that's, if you want a secondary headline, those 3 8-8 teams, it's going to be very fun over the next couple of weeks to see what goes on with them, because I think all of them are good. And I'm referring to Dylan, Sam, and yes, Larar. I think they're all good teams. And, there's a chance that 1 or maybe even 2 of them are not going to make the playoffs. So next couple of weeks, very important. We just had a very important week for Sam, and we'll get into that during this matchup breakdown. And let's start right there. I'm not waiting for this guy to join. Sent him the link. He can join when he wants. We'll start with Sam's matchup against Horvath. Clearly here, the matchup of the week. 145.44 to 142.7. Sam defeats Horvath in comeback fashion on Monday night. This was huge for this team. This was big for both of these teams. Whoever won this matchup was going to end up 8-8 and would have been in significantly better shape than had they lost. As for Sam here, matchup MVP, you could give it to a couple of different guys, really. And it was all those big names. I remember saying last week that he needed those studs to show up. Allen, Jacobs, Waddle. You like this pausing that I'm doing in between each name? Laporta. He needed these guys to show up. They all did. Plus, Sam got a big performance from Javonte Williams, who went for 18.8. Matchup MVP, I think I'm going to give it to Waddle, just because he had not shown this ceiling yet this year. This was his first time over 18.1. Just his second time going for 15 or more. He ends up with 25.1 in this matchup. And, Sam needed it. All right, our guest is here. So we'll let this guy in. You're going to start your video? Oh, here we go. This is what we wanted. This is what we wanted.
What is that?
Me, I'm a bubonic plague doctor. I'm healing the sick in the streets of London in the 1600s.
Oh my God.
Yes. I'm doing the Lord's work. So we're into the matchups now. We're starting with Sam versus Horvath, and a great one here, high scoring, close. How did you feel about? And we'll stick with Sam's side. How about Javonte Williams showing something for the first time all year? And how about that big upset by Denver?
Touchdown for Javonte, correct?
Yeah, he had a receiving score and he had 27 carries after not having more than 15 in any game.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull up that matchup because I don't pay attention to this because I don't care.
Yeah, hey, we know you don't. And I think it's important to pull it up so that you can refer to things. But generally um, what's going on, I think, right? Or do you not?
I don't know who won that matchup.
Sam did by three, or maybe less
Three?
than three. Sam actually won by a little less than three. Yeah, he needed some Monday night assistance, and he got it from Jacobs and Laporta.
Wow. So that Jacobs touchdown was huge.
It was, yeah, and Laporta uh, scoring. Yeah, Jacobs doing essentially he was the only player who was viable from that Raiders team.
Yeah,
What a mess.
they're
And
so, I mean, anytime you hire that I'm not even gonna say his name, that coach,
he
it's gonna turn into
deserves
a disaster.
that guy is such a loser, and he will be fired soon. But yeah, just looking at Sam's team, he got those big performances from Allen, Waddle, Laporta, Jacobs, but the big surprise certainly was Javonte Williams, and already hit on that. Sam did have a tough start decision that he made the wrong call on. He decided to go
Of
with Rashee Rice over Gabe Davis. It didn't cost him. Didn't
course.
cost him, but
Yeah.
Sam needed this and he got it. And that is kind of the team shit way. When
Yeah,
Sam is backed up against the wall, the team shows up.
it's incredible. It's year after year.
Yeah, Sam is never out of it. He reminds me of like the dynasty Patriots. Like, they might be 2-3, they might be 1-2. It doesn't matter. They're gonna still end up they'll be right there at the end. You don't write them off.
Wow,
But
he disrespected Indy Colt.
who did?
Sam.
What do you do?
He
Oh,
started
the
started same
Saints.
team.
I mean, it's funny because the Colts are just the picture of mediocrity, but all of their games have been high scoring, and they're
Fucking
really not a great team to start a defense special teams against. They lose like 38 to fucking 30 every week anymore. Their
no, it's
defense
also
is terrible.
yeah, it's like the opposite of what they were.
Yeah, no, and I was going to say this to you at some point, so I guess I'll just say it now. Both of our teams are like annoying, but mine is fun annoying, and yours is like just depressing annoying.
Yeah, it makes you not care.
It does. Yeah, it's I
What
mean,
is the
I don't really care about the Colts right now. I pay attention to them, but like where are they going? Where they're just stuck in this.
It
Let's
does
move
suck.
o-
Richardson got hurt too. Like that just gives you another reason not to care.
Yeah, that was brutal. And especially a guy like him so young and he doesn't have much experience and now he's losing a year of development. But let's move over to Horvath, and his team has been pretty good the last 2 weeks. He's right back in the race. He's only a game out of the playoffs now, shockingly.
Let's see who
Uh,
he's got. Wow, he has got DeAndre Hopkins. He's
yeah, how
starting.
about that? And
And he
you gotta,
lost.
if you're Sam and you had lost, it would have been disgusting to lose because Horvath was essentially forced to start Hopkins, and he has that monstrous showing with Levis, who looked really
He's a
good.
stud.
He he looks like a guy who he's not afraid to throw it deep. I think there are going to be some of the issues that happen in college with some interceptions, but
Yeah.
man, He looked way better than I expected for a guy that the entire league passed on, and who
Oh,
Tennessee was unwilling to play him for 2 months.
I
But
tried telling my good friend Steve Scuba Saray
yeah,
that Will Levis was going to be good, and he just wouldn't listen to me.
yeah, well, through one game, it's looking like you were correct, and Hopkins was just unbelievable here. Jordan Addison God damn, is he a guy I wanted? I wanted to draft him. I tried to trade for him a few times. I tried to offer Horvath garbage back in September for him. And he's been the big benefactor of Justin Jefferson's injury.
Yeah,
Without Kirk,
that team just breeds wide receivers.
it's impressive. Yeah, you go from Diggs to Jefferson. Now you have Addison. And
Yeah,
even if you want to go further back, too, obviously, Chris Carter, Randy Moss, it's really a ridiculous lineage. But yeah, Addison double digits in all but the one game where he didn't catch a pass. And we'll see now without Kirk Cousins. Obviously, they traded for Josh Dobbs today. See what happens to that offense. A couple of bad games in a row for Cooper Kupp, and now Stafford is out. So
quarterback.
yeah, this was kind of the worry with Kupp. Obviously, you had his own health issues. You have the persistent Stafford health issues, and when Stafford's not out there, they're not good. And
Who do they got behind Big Matt Stafford?
they have that John Wolford guy. I
He's
don't know if
still
they,
there. He's still around.
yeah, he is still around. Yeah,
Hmm.
I don't know if they're going to bring anyone else in.
But no, you know who they have, right?
Oh, Stetson Bennett.
Stetson, fucking college football till he's 30 years old. Bennett.
Yeah, but he's not doing well. He's got like mental health.
Oh, does he?
He's away from the team. Yeah, and
Ah.
McVay said he doesn't expect him back this year.
Oh,
It's bad. It's a bad situation.
tough getting out of college and going right into the NFL.
It is. It's tough being 25 and being an immature. Yeah.
Yeah.
DeAndre Swift, good game because it's what he does. Running back 5 on the year. He's been just amazing. He has not scored less than 10.5 in any game since week 1. He's scored at least 14 in all but 2 games this year. He's being utilized. He's been great. And I liked what they did. They handed it off to him out of the quarterback sneak formation, and it worked. It ended up going for a touchdown.
Oh wow, really? I didn't
Yeah.
watch a second of that game.
Yeah, so they did the quarterback sneak around the goal line early on, and Hurts actually fumbled.
Oh,
And
lost it.
then they lost the fumble. Washington recovered it at the 1. Washington, when they still had a good defensive line before trading Sweat and Chase Young today.
They're a disgrace to everything about the sport.
I mean, to trade Chase Young for a 3rd round pick is just
I mean, you got more out of
for
Montez
Sweat.
than you did for Chase Young, which Chase Young he's just a name, really, but
Yeah, he hasn't been anything. And the big issue with him, he can't stay on the field, but uh still to have I think the projected picks right now are like they got 35th overall for Sweat, 85th overall for Young.
Jesus.
That's frankly, it's an embarrassment for Chicago, who for the second straight year have traded basically the 30 to 35th overall pick for a guy that's not going to help them right now. They did it for Chase Claypool last year. I don't.
April,
Bears are awful.
Ryan Poles.
Yeah, idiot.
Guess so.
R- Ramondre Stevenson was bad because the Patriots' offense is bad, and
It's just
you know that's just a mess.
to blow it up.
Trevor Lawrence, he is. Yeah, the Patriots they have to just completely start everything over. Trevor Lawrence, it's so weird. He's playing really quality football. Like he's been pretty good. Real life, they're winning. And he's been shit for fantasy because he has 9 he has 9 touchdowns through 8 games. So
Oh,
ETN's scoring all the touchdowns, and so Lawrence hasn't gone above 20.15 in any game. He's the quarterback 12, and he's just been a really low end starter. But maybe the touchdown should come at some point for a guy who's playing pretty well. But yeah, good for Horvath. He had a good week, and he's back in contention. It's just you would have loved to go 2-0 if you were Horvath. You would have loved to beat Sam. That was a big swing there. All right, we'll move along. Let's go to the highest scoring team this week. Colin Klingman, 170.
wow.
170.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Colin?
Yes. Yes. Defeats the lowest scoring team, Mecca, 86.94.
Oof.
Rough. Yeah, real rough one. We'll start on Colin's side. Matchup
Klingman.
MVP. His team went off.
Let's see.
We'll start out with the matchup and weekly MVP. And it's CeeDee Lamb, who finally
Oh,
got
yeah.
fed.
Finally got the ball.
Yep, 41 points because what were they doing? I mean, look at the first 6 weeks. He had over 7 targets once. That's an embarrassment. It's an absolute embarrassment. He comes out, he gets 14 targets this week, 12 catches, $158, 2 scores. There's no reason why he shouldn't be seeing double-digit targets every game. What are you throwing it to Brandon Cooks? Come on. Michael Gallup, who is nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing since he tore his ACL or whatever he tore a couple of years ago. But yeah, CeeDee Lamb, this is what they need to do. They need to make him he needs to be the focal point every week. It's simple as that. Garrett Wilson, he's been decent. It's been up and down, and you would expect it to be when you have Zach Wilson. He goes 7 for 100. The targets they've been there for Wilson, but they're not high value targets, and so there are limitations there, but he's been solid. Colin got a big game from Jahmyr Gibbs, and he looked really good. He looked really good last night.
I thought he's looked good all year. I thought he looked really good in the opener against KC.
He did. He did.
They just didn't use him too much.
No, yeah, early on, big thing, they weren't really throwing it to him, and obviously they were really just, force feeding David Montgomery on that Thursday night against Green Bay. That was a little ridiculous. But yeah, look, Gibbs, he didn't profile as a workhorse type guy, and he hadn't been in any game this year. And then he ends up with 26 carries last night, showing that he can handle that type of workload. And that touchdown run he had, really just an incredible play. Great vision, great cut. And yeah, Gibbs is good. We'll see what happens out of the bye. Montgomery probably will be back. I think Gibbs has certainly earned more of a role than he had.
They'll
But who
probably
knows? Who knows?
beat him at the goal line like they did with fucking Jamal Williams last year.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's going to be a thing. And Montgomery, it's a really nice tandem actually, because you have that more north-south bruising guy in Montgomery, and you have the shiftier Gibbs, who you could get out in space.
I like it.
Nice. Yeah, and the other thing too, they love running it. So they'll run it 30 to 35 times. They have more than enough to utilize both of them.
That is that's the team I'll be rooting for this season.
That's a good team to root for. I think, yeah, if I had to pick like one team, sure. They're very likable.
Mm-hmm.
There's almost nothing to hate.
No, I don't. I'm not sure if I hate a thing about them actually.
No.
I really don't like when noticed it a few times last night. Amon-Ra St. Brown, when he catches a long pass or a first down, he really tosses the ball ahead of him. That kind of pisses me off, but
A little excessive. There are plenty of
eh,
guys who are a little excessive.
nonsense. But yeah, other than that, they're pretty awesome. Um, I don't know if you were paying attention to the over last night at all.
No.
It was maybe the most infuriating bet I've ever experienced in my life.
Hmm.
The amount of times the Detroit Lion got the ball on Raider side of the field and did
And
not score
settled for a field goal.
or like nothing.
Yeah.
The fumble, they fumbled it
The
too.
fumble was rough for that. Yeah.
Sam Laporta dropped probably a touchdown
Yep.
at the end of the game as well.
So it ended up with 40. What was the total? Like 43 or something?
I had a 45 and a half.
Okay.
There were so many goddamn opportunities for it to go over, and it just did not.
Yeah, and especially when you got some aid in that pick six, you probably thought you were in good shape after that,
Oh yeah,
and then just like nothing. But that is
gross.
that's a shit loss. And even fortunately, it didn't screw you, but that 26-yard missed field goal too by
Yep.
Riley Patterson.
You miss a 26-yard field goal, you should be shot.
Yeah, they should put that in the rule book.
Should be 35 and under. You're fucking shot in the knee.
There'd be quite a few guys getting shot,
I would like to shoot them.
especially as you know, it indoors. Come on, there's no excuse.
Yeah, goddamn. That's okay. No, that is actually the one thing that
I
I hate about the Lions.
and I was going to bring that up. When you were saying there was nothing you hated, I was going to bring up they do play indoors. I figured that you
Yep.
hated that about them.
It's a shame,
I
but
kind of like Ford Field, uh, but it used to be much cooler when they had the outlining. I don't even know how to describe it, but it used to be brick, and now they have this like lions like wallpaper. It's stupid. Go back to the brick. Everybody likes brick.
like a Ford.
Oh, sure. Yeah, it's Ford built tough or whatever their slogan is. Brick is
Ford.
tough. Laying brick. Tua was good. Tua had a good game. He's the oh shit, I hit my beak. He's the quarterback four on the season. He's the quarterback four. Jake Ferguson was good too. He had 14.7.
Yeah,
He's been
that's another like Dallas. They just breed tight ends. Any tight
they
end's gonna be
do.
good.
Yeah, any mediocre, just slow white tight end. Uh
Witten.
yeah,
Oh,
Witten, Dalton Schultz, give me a break. Yeah.
what is
They
he
had
doing?
those. He's doing nothing. He's had a couple of
No.
games, but yeah, come on. Big Andy loved Dalton Schultz. He was his favorite player in the NFL. Remember when he said that one time?
You just broke up a bunch of times there.
Oh no,
Or
it's
is it
got to be
me?
this. No, it's probably me. It's probably this. This is why I don't rely on AirPods. I'll put in the other one.
No, you're good now. You're good. You're fine.
No, but I'm telling you, it's what it is that it cut out. It does this. It's a piece of shit. They're not good. They're not good. But yeah, I was saying how Andrew. Remember when Andrew used to Dalton Schultz was his favorite player in the NFL?
Yeah.
I know, yeah, ridiculous. All right, we'll move over to the losing side, and this has been the story of Mecca's season. Basically, his team either goes off or it is horrendous. Like I think this is the fifth time that he's scored under 100, and then he's
Gee.
had three times of 140 plus. I don't know that I can remember a team as inconsistent as this. Like truly either amazing or awful. And it's just really hard to be successful when your team is like that. And let's start with, we'll stick with that Monday night game. Like Devonte Adams, frankly, this is a disgrace because
So,
it's not his fault at all.
but it is.
What, for forcing his way to that team?
Yes, yes, fuck him for that. I don't feel bad for him at all. I don't want
Fair,
to see him bitching about anything or people like sticking up for him. That's who he
fair.
chose. He chose to
Yeah,
go.
that is now. With that being said, he did think that
Oh,
Derek Carr would be
Derek
there,
Carr. Oh,
but that wouldn't change a ton. The only thing is, I'm with you on the fact that you go to an organization like that, an organization that's been a joke for really like 3 decades, almost every year.
yeah.
You can whatever you get, you get. I'm with you on that for sure. Now, I thought Garoppolo would be okay. It's clear at this point that Garoppolo was entirely a product of the system that he was in. Uh,
Yeah.
he's been among the worst quarterbacks in the NFL this year. You could maybe make an argument he's been the worst. And he missed him on that. I mean, it would have been like a walk-in 65 to 70-yard touchdown, and it was not even close.
Another opportunity for points.
Oh, yes, you're right. Yeah. And that would have
I
done it.
mean, that was the biggest joke in the world. How do you
I mean,
miss a guy that open?
he like panic heaved it. It was, and there was no one. It was really a strange thing. I don't know, but yeah, Adams. You look at his season here. He had that one huge game, and aside from that, it's been pretty disgusting. You're looking at 3 games in single digits, 5 games, 12.7 or less. It's been real bad. And speaking of really bad, Aaron Jones too. Like he's done. He seems like he's just shot,
Yeah, he's shot.
and and that kind of happens running backs his age. I don't know how old he is, probably like 28, 29 if I had to guess.
At 25,
And he's 28.
shot by
And
your 25.
it's sad. It's a shame, but yeah, he's just done. That Packers offense is terrible. Jordan Love is he's been pretty awful. Uh,
They're fucked.
they really are. Yeah, Puka Nakua, he had a bad game again. You know, you lose Stafford.
You might be fucked.
He might be. Yeah, he if that offense falls to hell, like he might just be done being relevant. Mike Evans, he was doing nothing all day, and then last Thursday night, he had that kind of acrobatic touchdown that saved some respectability. But yeah, you look at this from Mecca, there is nothing to feel good about here. CJ Stroud had a down game against Carolina, and that was even with he had a quarterback sneak rushing touchdown. He
Jeez.
still did nothing for fantasy. Uh, Derrick Henry was okay. This is kind of
Yeah,
the Derrick.
it's when everyone was really hyping up that team, Mecca's team. I didn't really understand it.
Yeah, yeah, no,
Uh,
I think at this point it's fair to say that you were correct. I my thoughts on the team were basically that I thought he was going to make the playoffs. I thought he was probably like fourth, fifth best out of the draft. Really liked the depth. I still do. I think it's a deep team, but my concern with Mecca was, and I know you shared this, you have a bunch of older guys, and Aaron Jones hit the wall this year. Henry kind of has. I put it more on the
it's-
offense than Henry.
yeah.
Like their line is awful.
Yeah.
Um, I think if Henry was on the Eagles, let's say, I think he'd still be playing at an elite level.
Anybody would be good against that
Yeah.
bird behind that line.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Uh, but Henry at this point, he's not good enough to do it on his own anymore.
Right.
And I think that's kind of the issue he's running into. But yeah, I mean, for Matt at this point, it's going to be tough. And he's not done 6-10. You're 2 games out of a playoff spot, 3 games out of the division. But just this inconsistency, you can't succeed like this.
It's not sustainable.
It's not. It's what is sustainable is the fact that you're going to continue to be a little bit below average if the team is like this. All right, we'll move on. Let's go to it doesn't matter. Let's go to Krieger against Lohan.
Tiger.
Yeah, Krieger 155.44, really good showing. To 113.33, defeating Lohan. And Krieger, this was a team I was real down on out of the draft, and I was wrong. You know, he's had a good season. He's 11-5 now. He's in third place, and you want to talk about Mecca being inconsistent. Krieger's been extremely consistent, and I guess this week it starts with we'll give the matchup MVP to a guy I've been very critical of, Dak Prescott, who had a big game. But Dak does this. He has a couple of big games, and he kind of tricks you into thinking that he's back or that he's going to be on that that elite level. I guarantee you, Dak Prescott very soon is going to fall back to hell. But if you're Krieger, you enjoyed this while you had it. It's two big games in a row for him, and now he goes to Philadelphia. It's going to be a big test. But what are your thoughts on Prescott and Dallas?
Is that game in Philly? Do we
It
know?
is. It is.
Okay, so Philly won that.
Yes.
There's just the same. It's the same. It's like the Yankees. It's the same shit every year. Like who gives
They
a
are
fuck?
very similar to the Yankees. You're right. They're very, very similar. Like they're good, not great. They're not going to do anything in the playoffs. And
Another great defense. They have great players. Dak Prescott
incredible
is
talent.
definition of mediocrity. They will never do anything with him. Um, I don't know. He's been given everything, and he doesn't do anything with it.
Yeah, they can't even make it to an NFC title game.
No, it's a disgrace. They're
It
a
is.
joke.
They are. No, I'm with you. It's there was a time when I really like early career Dak Prescott. I liked him, and
Ah,
no, I mean the last couple of years, it's just there's not. It's exactly what you said. Like that this is the experience. They're gonna have a couple of moments where people are gonna start to believe, and it's just not. No, like don't believe. Fuck, they're gonna be
also,
gone. They'll be gone by the divisional round, guaranteed.
yeah, he's also turned into an arrogant fuck.
Is that right?
You see his comments with the honey and fucking bullshit Jalen Hurts or whatever Jerry
No,
Jones
no,
having his gums about.
no.
It was like I don't know. I don't even want to think about it. Let me see if I can find it.
All right. While you do that, Christian McCaffrey, huge game. He's just
He's definitely
amazing.
extremely good
He's so fun to watch too. Like,
and a good line and
yeah,
a good scheme with no quarterback.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. How about Brock Purdy? But like the touchdowns are unreal for McCaffrey. He's up to 13 touchdowns on the season.
Jesus
He scored
Christ.
it. He scored a touchdown in something like 17 or 18 straight games
Do you know what the record is for running back?
in a year.
Yeah. Do we guess?
Tomlinson had like a 28 or something. Maybe even Tomlinson might have had like 32.
Could Michael Turner be up there somewhere?
Probably. He probably had
I
like
remember him having
25-ish.
a monster year one year.
Yeah,
Touchdown.
he did. He did. Sean Alexander had a huge one. Uh, Tomlinson had 31 in 2006.
With San
He had,
Diego.
yeah, he had 28 rushing, three receiving.
Oh,
Yeah, it's just stupid. Let's see what Michael Turner's career high was. Yeah, I would think Turner probably had 20-ish once. Let's see. After he went, because he used to play behind Tomlinson. They went to Atlanta. He had 17 was his career high. I'm a little surprised.
fuck. Really?
In Yeah, 2008, he had 1,700 rushing yards and 17 rushing touchdowns, no receiving. He only had one receiving touchdown in his career.
I really liked him as a running back. Great running back.
Yeah, he was a good hard nosed guy.
I found the Dak bullshit, by the way.
Okay.
Cowboys owner Jerry Jones told media he doesn't want to talk about the upcoming Eagles game because he doesn't want to poke the bear. Dak Prescott heard about it from the media and said, "Pour honey on me. Pour honey on me. If I'm ever in a fight with a bear, pour honey on me."
Yeah, that's pretty obnoxious.
So,
And just not really like he's earned no right to talk anything. So
no, his biggest highlight of his career is snapping his ankle against the Chiefs. That's his career highlight.
that's that's the top play of his career.
Top play right there.
Oh man. You might be right. He didn't he beat Alabama in college?
Yeah, funny thing is, I actually didn't mind him at Mississippi State.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
He
that
had
team
good
was fun
story.
that year.
Yeah. Then he turned into a fucking douche.
We'll continue on with Krieger. George Kittle had another one of his big games. And actually, since Krieger got him, so twice Kittle in 5 games with Krieger, I think. 2 times under 2 points, and then 2 times 23.9 or more. That's Kittle. That's what he does. Uh, Rashad White was he actually, I don't really think Rashad White is very good, but Thursday night he looked pretty damn good. He made a couple of nice plays. Deontay Johnson did what he does. What he catch like 9 passes. Let's see,
No touchdowns.
8 for 85. Yeah, I mean that's good for PPR. I mean that's solid. Like you'll take that. That's a good showing. Gotta definitely hit on the disappointment here of Chris Olave because you and I really were both very high on him, and
I really like him still.
I do too. Yeah, I don't blame him. I don't.
Graz, you want to hear something absolutely hilarious?
Hmm,
It's related to two things related to Chris Olave.
okay,
First thing, our buddy Big Andy Jalowitz had a
he told
touchdown
me yes.
touchdown parlay.
Yeah, that
And
is horrendous.
it was $2 to win 11K, and
Yeah,
every single person scored a touchdown besides Chris Olave.
yeah.
But Olave got handcuffed on a touchdown pass. That was just like
Hmm.
it was right there. It was a walk in the end zone. And hit off his face mask, and big poor Andy did not win 11K.
would have been a would have been a big one. Would have been would
A
have been
big one.
life altering.
That,
Honestly,
I mean, wouldn't have to worry for a little bit.
yeah, yeah. I mean that would have covered some big costs, some big upcoming costs. So that's a tough that's a tough one for
And
Big Andy.
then the other thing was that his reckless driving.
Oh yes,
What was his? He was 35 or 34 over.
he was going like 70 and a 35, so 35.
Okay. So
He was going
me and
2 times the speed limit.
you're right, right. So last week, 2 weeks ago, I was pulled over for going 99 in a 65.
Hmm.
So, and I
Yeah,
didn't I didn't get anything. I mean, I'm gonna get something, but I didn't get fucking
you
cuffed.
didn't get arrested. Yeah, I think it's probably the fact that it happened in a 35, which means obviously like a residential.
Yeah.
Like imagine driving 70 through a neighborhood,
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
or like like down your street where you used to live. Like imagine someone going 70 down that.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
like you got kids potentially outside playing, and someone's going to go 70.
that's
That's
bad.
uh that's egregious. And so yeah, it's reckless driving. He got arrested and he dropped the I play for the Saints card and they didn't give a fuck.
No, I dropped a
But
little late. You
he
gotta
did. Yeah, he took way too long. But yeah, it's been pretty annoying, especially when like Rashid Shaheed. comes away with a bomb catch every game. It's like, why can't that happen with Olave ever? Why does he have one touchdown? But I, I, I mean, if I was Krieger, I would actually be thrilled that I'm 11-5 when I've gotten nothing out of him, and have hope that it gets going and that my team improves. But we'll see. Maybe him and Big Derek Carr just don't have good rapport.
He's a bad quarterback.
He's been terrible this year. He really has. And he carved the Colts up, which tells you how bad they are.
Yeah.
Um, Losing side of this matchup was Lohan. He's been on a real downward slide for a while now. Jalen Hurts was great for fantasy, 30.55. He had 4 passing touchdowns. Damn. He had a huge game. I didn't know he was so good from the passing side of things.
Yep.
And the rest of the team, TJ Hawkinson, really good, but now it's going to be interesting to see what the loss. I could see the loss of Cousins screwing TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah. So
We'll see.
I tried getting Hawkinson off of Lohan
Oh wow.
last week.
Well, you sent like Ingram and something else.
I think it was Ingram and maybe Hunt
Mm. Yeah,
or
I mean,
Ingram and Brian Robinson, maybe.
yeah, that's more, especially because Lohan without Connor has had such an issue with running back situation. Foreman was great last week on the bench.
Yeah, but that's what he
Lohan
does.
gets him in, yeah, he gets him in the lineup and just nothing because Chicago did nothing. Roshan Johnson was back. It was just a terrible situation. Calvin Ridley was pretty good. Nothing incredible.
Hey, fuck him.
Wide receiver 37 on the season still. Like, yeah, like nothing great. Saquon Barkley, this is actually kind of wild. The man had 36 carries and he turned it into 15.8 fantasy points. 3.6 a carry. It's because they they just ran it with him every single time in the second half. Once Tyrod was out, what did they throw it? 3 more times all game?
It was a disgrace. It was mind numbing. I feel nothing about it.
The Tommy DeVito thing.
I mean, they had the game won. The game was
They
won.
the game was over. It
The
really
game was
was.
over. And for
How
some reason,
did you think they
Saquon,
should have gone for it on 4th and 1?
no, because of that fucking dipshit offensive line. The
Yeah.
Jets' defensive front is very good.
Hmm.
I don't think anything is ever good. Anything good has happened when the Giants go for it on 4th and 1 this year.
Okay.
That's how they got fucking what's his face hurt? John Michael Schmitz. That's how they got him hurt.
Okay.
Uh against I forget who that was against. One of the games. They got him hurt. They got Daniel Bellinger hurt, and one other player hurt on a 4th and 1 QB sneak, and they
Yeah.
didn't get
So
it.
that's yeah. So that's just not a thing that they. I actually remember it. It might have been the Seattle game where one of those guys got injured. They tried the Hurts
Yes,
play and it was just horrendous. The result. Uh, but yeah, I mean that was just terrible what happened there. Fucking Jets are 4-3
yeah,
with no quarterback. They don't have a quarterback and they're 4-3 somehow.
it's just absurd luck.
Yeah, luck and a good defense
Yeah,
keeps you
their
in
defense.
games. Zay Flowers had a down game. He's only got one touchdown. That's actually, I'm looking at Lohan's different player profiles. That's kind of the story of Lohan's team. Saquon Barkley, one touchdown. Calvin Ridley, 2 touchdowns. Zay Flowers, one. TJ
Yeah,
Hawkinson, 3. Lohan's guy, like, they just don't score, and you cannot be successful in fantasy football without touchdowns. I've had teams like this before, and
yeah.
it's infuriating. It's infuriating because you feel like I got good guys. Like I look at Lohan's team, he's got talent. I've got good guys. I've got guys who are getting the ball, they're producing. But if they're not getting in the end zone, you have no ceiling, and you end up just being this. You score 110, 115, 105, and you're just fucked. And Lohan is pretty much fucked at 5-11. He's basically eliminated.
Lohan, you've been eliminated.
You've been eliminated. Sorry. You're
Better
one of
luck next
three.
year.
Yeah, you're one of three teams that are essentially eliminated.
Thanks for
But
the
hey,
donation.
but keep fighting because you don't want the punishment bracket bye. So there's that. You don't want that. All right, we got three more matchups, and we will go to mine now. I defeat Larar 151.22 to 119.6. Matchup MVP was AJ Brown, 33 points. That one touchdown reception he had was just disgusting. 125 plus receiving yards for him, 6 straight games. He's just on a different
Fuck
planet
him.
right now.
Fuck the
He's
Titans for sending him anything they want.
he really did fuck the Titans bad. I mean, it
No,
was
I mean, fuck the Titans. Like, fuck them.
for trading him to Philadelphia.
Nothing.
Yeah, for
The
Treylon
first
Burks.
rounder?
Yeah, they trade him for a first round pick that became Treylon Burks, who can't. He's nothing
Such a disgrace. I don't understand. And then they trade Kevin Byard to them.
for not. That was really for nothing. Yeah,
What was it
yeah.
like a fifth or some bullshit?
I think it was like fifth, sixth, and whatever Edmonds Philadelphia had. Shitty Edmonds.
Fuck.
Yeah, but AJ Brown did put them in a bad situation by doing the whole I fucking want out, I'm not going to play for you, and so you have no leverage at that point.
That guy, he's like the second coming of Terrell Owens.
He is. He's very similar.
Horrible human being.
Yeah,
And something horrible to happen to him.
and it might. I mean, it might.
Got to come in someday.
Yeah, yeah. Karma typically catches up with you.
Take
This was
his
just
leg.
I've seen guy, and he's one of those types of guys because he's so hard to bring down. People do have to go low on him,
Yeah.
and I've seen a couple of close calls. Like I've never really cared about him before, but now he's crucial to my team, so I watch every time he gets the ball closely. Believe me, he's had some close calls of having his knee taken out, so it might be coming. Uh, yeah, no, this was just a great week for my team. Everybody scored in double digits. Uh, Diggs was it was kind of like what I said last week. He just finds a way. He gets force fed, and even on a night where he wasn't the focal point, it was Gabe. It was a Gabe Davis night on Thursday, and Diggs still went 9 for 70. Raheem Mostert saved his day with a 1 yard touchdown run. He did not look very good in the limited amount of that game I had watched. He might be slowing down.
Wearing down.
Man, old.
Oh, man.
I can't even believe he's still healthy.
I can't believe he hasn't gotten injured.
It
Like a
is.
calf or an ankle. Come on.
It's shocking. Well, he had an ankle issue last week. He missed some practice, which that might be contributing to the lack of effectiveness.
That usually gets him for a week or two.
Mm-hmm. I actually, honestly, I think it would benefit him to sit out a couple of weeks. I think their bye is they've got Kansas City this week, and then I think they go on bye.
Whoa. How'd you get A-Chain?
Achan,
A-Chain.
Mecca sent me a trade actually. No, we had no discussion on this. He just sent it to me, and it was Achan and Sutton for Stroud and Rashid Shaheed.
The fuck?
I believe me, I had a similar reaction. I loved the trade for me. I mean, you look at it from Mecca's perspective, it's He was very quarterback desperate, and this was pretty much kind of a must win for him. Like to fall to 6-10 is pretty bad. He had Stroud in a great matchup against Carolina. He's thinking that that's the type of thing that's going to lead him to a 2-0 week, and instead, Stroud went for like 13 fantasy points. So it's
I
a,
mean, what are you gonna put up 30?
I guess that was the hope. 25. He had gotten nothing from quarterback because Anthony Richardson died and Geno Smith was scoring 15 a week. So, but I was surprised that Achan was involved too. Uh, to be
Was
honest,
there
I would have what?
was there any vetoes?
There was one. I don't know who, but there was one vote to veto.
Oh,
Yeah.
what the
I
fuck?
I don't think it's veto worthy, but I definitely the way I looked at it is, you got Mecca in a desperate situation, and he pretty much was willing to trade Achan, a guy who wasn't going to do anything for him for a couple of weeks, and who knows what Achan's even going to be. Like he's a tiny guy. He might just be one of those guys who keeps getting injured. And so, yeah, Matt took a chance, and through a week, it doesn't look too good for him. But Rashid Shaheed had a big game, so there's that.
Let's see Rashid Shaheed's the
He's
fuck.
he's probably about wide receiver 30 on the season, if I had to guess. He's been pretty good. He's wide receiver 33.
Okay, but Jesus Christ. I mean, you got Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua, and Mike
Well, yeah,
Evans.
he doesn't need him, and that's why he tossed in Sutton too, because he doesn't need Sutton. That's the depth. That's his wide receiver group. But yeah, essentially he traded Achan for Stroud. If you really
I
look
mean,
at it
that's
that way,
it's got to be one of the worst trades I've ever seen.
I wouldn't have. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm with you. I would not have included Achan. I would have done. I actually would have done the trade Sutton and Spears for Stroud. I would have
Fucking
done Sutton and Spears for him.
we're talking about Houston Texans, CJ Stroud. Like, yeah, he's had a good year so far, but fuck.
Yeah,
Who's he throwing
and
to?
Big Tank Dell.
Yeah, okay. Tank Dell.
That's your guy. You're not going to
Yeah, I
support him
love Tank
anymore.
Dell. It's awesome, but Jesus Christ, they're gonna throw everybody on him.
Well, they got A Train at Nico Collins, and they got Andrew's favorite player Dalton Schultz too. They got a star-studded cast.
Man, that's just one of the worst trades in history. That's so bad. I can't believe no one brought that up at all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who the veto was, but and like I said, the shocking thing is that it was just sent to me. There were no text messages. It was just I
Maybe he
opened
was
up the app. Who knows? Who knows?
I mean,
But here's what I'll say about this too. Some of the worst trades, some of the worst looking trades, and I've been involved in some of them. I've been involved in some trades that look like absolute home runs for me. And they end up not being that way because weird shit happens. And we'll see how
for
this one ages.
so for me, CJ Stroud is going to have to be Patrick Mahomes 2.0 for this trade to be any sort of decent.
Well, it's dependent on what Achan is when he comes back. If he comes back and does what he did early in the year, then this is horrendous for Mecca, without a doubt. But I'm looking at it from the standpoint of he's already been injured twice. He got injured in the preseason, and then he got injured after basically 3 games. So I think it's possible he ends up just being one of those guys. But no, I mean, I'm definitely on board with the fact that I wouldn't have been willing to trade what he's capable of being because he could be incredible. Guy averaged
Yeah.
13 a carry, 12.1. I over exaggerated a bit. All right, we're moving off that.
Graz, you know what I'm noticing right now that I didn't
What?
notice earlier? Yeah, I can see your eyes.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is like mesh.
I, I didn't notice that until now.
You can see into my soul. Uh, Dalton Kincaid had a good game. I know it pains you to see that.
That's gonna make me. That's I don't care, but it's gonna make me sick. That's the
It could
one thing that's
be.
gonna.
It could be awful. It could be
I mean,
awful
I
for
fucking
you.
held on to the guy as long as I could have.
I know. Yeah. No. There was no reason to keep holding him because he was doing nothing, and they were using fucking Dawson Knox still,
Yep.
and Kincaid looked. He looked damn good
So
Thursday.
high on that motherfucker.
Yeah, you were. You absolutely were. Daryl Henderson was pretty terrible. This is a classic Rams running back performance, like awful real life, but they produce for fantasy somehow.
Yeah, he worked
Uh,
out.
he's done what I needed the last couple of weeks when I haven't had a running back. DK Metcalf really just. I watched a good amount of this, and I came away from this really. Geno Smith is a fucking mess. Metcalf had 5 catches on 14 targets. It was entirely Geno Smith's fault. The amount of times that he threw the ball at his feet, I don't know what was going on there. Metcalf probably could have had about 150 yards in this game, and he ended up doing nothing. Um,
No, Gino's just not very good.
no, yeah, he
He's
had
fine.
that fluke year.
He's fine to get by, but I mean, I'm very high on Seattle. I was very high on Seattle
Oh
to
yeah,
begin.
yeah, very good team.
But that's going to bite them in the ass.
Yeah,
Gino,
like they will lose in maybe the wild card round because of him. Like they're going to run into a good defense and they're going to be screwed.
they have so many weapons too.
They do, yeah. Walker, Metcalf, Lockett, Smith and Jigba's getting going. Charbonnet, like when he plays, he's good.
Yeah, he's good.
And the defense is it's getting there. And they traded for good old Leonard Williams.
Yeah, second rounder.
It's a good deal for the Giants.
Whatever you
Uh,
want.
yeah, yeah. I gotta point out that I picked up 3 tight ends this past week, and Kincaid scored the fewest of all three, 17 and a half from Kincaid. And he was outscored by Trey McBride, who really just had a monster game, 25 and a
Jeez.
half. His touchdown was incredible, too. Uh, 14 targets for Trey McBride. And
Was
then
Josh Dobbs slinging that ball?
that was Josh Dobbs, yeah.
Good
But
for
he,
him.
of course, has been traded. So it's going to be Clayton Tune this week. And then probably Kyler Murray thereafter, but we'll see. Who knows what's going on with him?
Small boy will be back.
He's probably to me the Dobbs trade is a sign that uh, Murray will be back soon,
Oh,
meaning week 10. Yeah, what was that?
what?
I thought I heard like a crackle or something. I thought that's what you were reacting to.
No, no, I was reacting to Miles Sanders.
Oh God. I mean,
Is he dead?
he had 2 carries.
Yeah, whoa.
Well, he was injured. I think he's had a groin injury basically dating back to the preseason. I don't think he's at all healthy.
So he's
And I don't
shot.
I think he might be shot. He's the one pick in this entire draft that I truly regret. I don't even regret Dobbins. I took that risk knowing he'd probably get injured. I was okay with that. Sanders, I did not want. I kind of felt forced to take a running back, and I took him for volume reasons. And yeah, it's just been. I mean, he's been horrendous. He's averaging 3 yards a carry. He shouldn't play. They should play Chuba Hubbard over him. He's been better than Sanders. But yeah, also Taysom Hill had a good game. Taysom Hill, who had 1 target, but he had 9 carries, 63 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns.
That's just disgusting.
It's nonsense. Let's shift over to Lerar. And Lerar had a pretty strange week because he got some big performances, but then he was really let down by a few guys. And my takeaway a few weeks ago was that quarterback tight end would be tough for him. Early on, I had been proven just dead wrong because Goff and Schultz put a few good games together. But then here we are. This is them having a down week at the same time. Goff and Schultz combined for just 17.9 points. The touchdowns went Jahmyr Gibbs' way. Detroit, we've already talked about their red zone struggles last night. That kind of killed Goff's ability to have a good fantasy showing. And yeah, Schultz just did nothing. You look at shifting away from the negative and into the positive now. Alvin Kamara, this is just, it's unbelievable.
It's nonsense.
It's absolutely unbelievable. The man has averaged 3.6 yards per carry or less for 4 straight weeks. He's not been an effective running back, but he has been amazing for fantasy football. This guy missed, what he missed, 4 games? 3. He was suspended the first 3 games. He's the running back 6. Outside of like McCaffrey,
he's been the best.
He's basically been the best guy at the position for fantasy.
How old is he?
Truly. He's probably 27, 28.
Aaron Jones draft class?
Yeah, I think he's about that age. Yeah, he's 28. They're the same age.
That's crazy. Maybe those 3 weeks off helped him.
It might have. Yeah. He's way fresher than other guys at this point of the season. He had 2 touchdowns, and I'll tell you what, the 2 touchdowns were a complete product of just horrendous tackling. Indianapolis inability to tackle. It was a joke. It was pathetic. Joe Mixon, big game. That was nice to see if you're Lerar.
Yeah, flu.
Yeah, another not great guy.
No.
But he was productive, and that Cincinnati offense is getting going. Jamar Chase, he's been really good for about a little over a month now.
Absolute animal.
Yeah, he's fun to watch. So yeah, that was the big 3. Jonathan Taylor, I don't really understand what happened. I mean, he came out, he had like 65 yards rushing on the first drive, and then he just didn't really get used. He had 12 carries, and at this point, the Zach Moss thing is a real issue for Taylor.
I don't
Zach
trust it.
Moss, what, you don't trust that Moss is going to keep being used?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that Moss is playing well. Like it would actually be pretty shitty if they stopped playing him because he's been good. He runs. God, does he run hard? I never remember him being like this with Buffalo. I thought he was just a bum, and he runs really physically. And if he's going to keep playing like this, it should be a timeshare. Now, in an ideal world, if you're the Colts, you're going to end up going back to Taylor as a workhorse, and Taylor has been good. Let's be clear about that. 4.7 per carry, averaged basically 8 per carry in this game. So I don't know. We'll see what they do.
What's their line look like?
It's fine. Like it's fine. They're way better at run blocking than pass blocking. That's been a thing for a few years.
Yeah.
Basically that I'll tell you, Bernard Raymond, that left tackle they took last year, he's actually started to work out. Quentin Nelson, he's not at that elite level that he was at first. He's good, but he's just not at that elite level. Ryan Kelly, I think he's pretty much at the end. And the right side is Braden Smith is always injured. But yeah, they're fine. They're nothing special. Which 4 years ago they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, for Lerar, this was a fine week. And Jacoby Myers did nothing too. Again, that was just Garoppolo couldn't. Wow, Myers only had 1 target. How is that possible?
Oh, bad.
Fucking Garoppolo, unbelievable. Yeah, for Lara, it is what it is. It's tough 0-2, but the team was just you were mediocre this week, and a week where mm, half the league went off. Half the league scored 140 plus. And we'll shift over to your matchup now. Peter 142.1 to 118.09, defeating Dylan. Matchup MVP. This is pretty obvious here, and this was also the best start of the week. Gus Edwards, 29.4. Edwards over 50 combined the last 2 weeks. He had 3 touchdowns on Sunday.
Jesus.
Yeah, I didn't know that until this moment, but I mean he's their guy. He's their lead guy. He's better than Justice Hill for sure. And Gus Edwards has always just kind of been solid. It's nothing
I've always
incredible.
really liked him.
What?
Runs hard.
He does, yeah. Yeah, I like him.
Horse.
He's a big guy. Really
God.
big. What else did Peter have? The receivers were they
Touchdowns.
were
He just fucking everybody scores for him. Nobody scores for me.
oh well that's the way it goes sometimes. Yeah, and you also, and we'll get to your team soon. You had some massive disappointing performance. Well, really only one that was truly a disaster. Uh, yeah, Peter got good production from the receivers. Michael Pittman, he just PPRs his way. PPR
Getting the
Pittman.
ball. He's getting the ball now.
Yeah, after he complained.
Yeah, which I don't understand. Like what?
No, that was a little odd. Uh, I didn't know he had that in him. It
He
made
had
no sense. You're talking about a guy who, so he complained in week 7. Well, through the first 6 games, he had 4 games of double-digit targets. Like, yeah, week 7 you only had 5, but you also had, you're playing a good defense. You got Denzel Ward on you a decent amount of time. Uh, like, let's relax. But
I'm
yeah, he
looking
goes
at
back.
his stats right now, and I mean, the fact that he complained.
It's pretty ridiculous. It is. He went
Fun.
back up to 13 targets this week.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good player.
He is. He is. He's fine. He's made some crazy plays in his career. He's also had some bad drops. Terry McLaurin, he was pretty damn good.
Terry's a stud. I fucking love Terry.
He's a great player. I wish he was on
Oh,
a, a great offense.
I wish he was anywhere else.
I actually, it's, looking at this matchup, I view him and DJ Moore very similarly. They're
Yeah.
great. They're great players that have just been wasted for the majority of their careers in terrible situations. Like, put one of these guys on the Chiefs.
Oh my God. It would be absurd. Terry
It's a
McLaurin on
shame.
the Chiefs would be. I think I like Terry more than DJ Moore.
Okay.
I think Terry is better.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I think it's a good debate that can be had between the two of them. McLaurin is obviously a little bit taller, probably what, maybe an inch.
Yeah.
It's actually probably really close. Might be like 6'1", 6'2" versus 6 foot 6'1". But anyway, McLaurin, yeah, it's going to be inconsistent with him
Yeah.
uh because of Howell. But there is and Peter actually texted me about this. Like there is a floor. You know that McLaurin's not really going to give you like 3 points because he's going to get enough targets to at least get up in that 8 to 10 range, and he's been doing that every week. And he has the
Oh,
capability to have a big game too every once in a while.
also nice with Howell because he's just a gunslinger.
That Howell actually has been pretty damn good for his
Fantasy.
fantasy options. The only problem is that Howell has been big, and I don't know if this is him or if it's scheme. They've really spread it around. Like one week it'll be like Dotson had a big game this week finally.
Yeah.
Curtis Samuel has had some big games. I think a couple of their other bums have factored in as well. Logan Thomas will have a big game every once in a while. He was pretty good this week too. Brees Hall, huge receiving performance. He
Yeah.
had 17 yards rushing. He had that, like a long receiving touchdown?
52-yard touchdown.
Yeah, okay. So that made his day. But you look at Brees Hall, it was terrible the first month, and now three straight three straight games, 20 plus fantasy points. So that's the good. The bad, and it's pretty incredible Peter overcame this. He got nothing out of his first two picks, really. Kelsey was nothing special, 11.8.
Oh,
He didn't have Taylor Swift in attendance, as social
no,
media would love to remind you.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Taylor didn't go.
No way.
She didn't make the trip. She has some like concert coming up. Got to
Oh,
get prepared.
darn.
Isn't that sad?
No,
No. Tony
no.
Pollard. This is actually bad.
I don't understand it.
I don't really either. I don't know what's going on. 15 or less carries, 4 straight games. Receiving hasn't really been there outside of a couple of games. Touchdowns sure as fuck haven't been there. He scored 2 on opening night. He hasn't gotten into the end zone since.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. I really don't know what's going on with that. I wouldn't give up on him because he's good, but like we're talking about 3 of the last 4 games in single digits, and he is only averaging 3.9 per carry. So some of this falls on him. I don't know. That's one of the weirder things so far this season to me.
Yeah, I thought he'd be an absolute stud this year.
The only thing I had no concern about his performance. I did have concern about health with him taking on a full workload,
Yeah, that's
but
true.
that hasn't been the issue. So unless he's dealing with something we don't know about, the big storyline for Peter's got to be the loss of Cousins, and now he doesn't really have a quarterback for this week because
Poor Kirk.
yeah, he was playing really well and he's
Poor
dead
God.
now. Justin Fields is still out.
All those
I
prayers really did him well.
yeah,
Fucking tore his Achilles, dropping back to pass.
just like Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Aaron reached out to him. Did you see that?
Oh, did he?
Yeah, yeah.
Of course.
Him,
He's got to reach out to
Rod,
everyone.
Rodgers, Cousins, and J.K. Dobbins have all become close in their shared experience.
That's nice. It's a
Yeah,
good
isn't that?
trio.
Mm-hmm. All right, that'll wrap it up for Peter's team. We'll shift over to you now, and the thing that jumps off the page obviously is that Mahomes just was awful.
Yeah,
Like
that's what
maybe the worst game of his career.
he was sick.
Yeah, he was, and I think he probably like that was a legitimate thing because there's no way he plays like that if he's not actually dealing with something.
No.
Uh, yeah, 8.05 from him. That truly is about as bad as you could. The guy has scored more points than that on individual plays in his career.
Yep.
So what can you do? Kenneth
Nothing.
Walker, another guy, he was dealing with that issue all week. And what was it, ankle maybe? Calf,
Uh,
calf.
Jeff.
Yeah, he ends up with 8 touches or 8 carries, 9 touches.
Oh wow, I
So
didn't notice that.
he wasn't healthy. So you
What
had
the heck?
two guys weren't healthy and they both did nothing for you. DJ Moore, he had a down game.
Yeah, it was fine. It was good enough to do something though.
Yeah,
Good enough to win
yeah,
if I had fucking Mahomes or
yeah. He wasn't what. It was Mahomes. Mahomes is what killed him.
yeah.
And Eagles defense.
Yeah,
Fucking
that was
negative 2.36.
I don't understand that at all. I don't know how the Giants can hold fucking Washington to 7 points,
No,
and then the Eagles can't. They can't force any turnovers. They force any
it,
turnovers?
I don't think they did.
No, they had one pick, but they
Okay.
let up 31 points and fucking 300 yards of Sam Howell
Yeah, and twice. He got them twice.
twice. He put up 31 against them twice.
Insane. Yeah, I mean that is insane. And actually, I you had a great defense on the bench. It was a tough week to pick worst sit. I chose that for worst sit. I don't blame you for starting the Eagles against Washington, but
I
you
thought
had
they'd get a
Jackson.
pick six or something.
Fair, yeah. With like you called Howell earlier, gunslinger.
And how bad they looked against fucking New York, New Jersey.
Yeah, they did.
How bad they looked against that dog shit team. Oh my God.
But yeah, Jacksonville, of course, 12.58 on the bench. It wouldn't have changed the matchup, but
No,
um, everyone else was pretty damn good. Like
just no
Eckler.
touchdowns.
Well, Eckler had his. He had the one. And
And Devontae, I guess, yeah.
yeah, and that was actually of everything that happened this week, that was a uh good sign for your team that he finally had another big game, his first since week 2. That had been getting a little ridiculous. There's no reason. I get it. AJ Brown, he's playing out of his mind right now. He is the guy, but there's no reason that Devontae Smith should be going like 4 for 40.
No.
Like he should have kind of a floor of 6 for 70 ish, 6 for 80. Brandon Ayuk, solid game.
Just doesn't score.
Yeah, no, he hasn't scored since week 1. Yeah, so I Kenneth Walker has been your touchdown guy, but yeah, I'm seeing the rest of these guys. It has not been much touchdown production. Evan Ingram doesn't score. He's been fun to
But
have. He doesn't have a touchdown.
no, I can't complain about that though.
No, no, he's been. I mean, I've kind of touted him every week as being like the
Consistent.
guy at the tight end position of the consistency. Just plug him in. He's going to give you. This week he actually had a big game, but normally he gives you 9 to 12,
What tight end is he on the year so far?
6.
Okay.
Yeah, it's solid. You got him late. You got him ninth round. He was probably 10th, 11th tight end drafted, so he's been a good return on investment. Uh, yeah, I mean it is this you're it's very similar to Lerar where you had a solid week, but it wasn't good enough on a week where most teams did very well. And
Yeah,
you're
it is what it is.
yeah, hey, you're still sitting in a playoff spot. I think your team's fine, but you're in that bunch of shit, so next few weeks will be important. And we've got one last matchup to go, and it's the only matchup that featured two teams in the bottom half of the league in scoring. Nordiff 126.05 defeats Andrew 114.97. This was the first time that Nordiff was not in the top 6 of scoring in a week, and he still had it. I mean, 126 is still a fine week.
Yeah.
Matchup MVP will give it to ETN 25.9. Said before that outside of McCaffrey, then it's Kamara. No, it's McCaffrey, then ETN. Then Kamara would be the guy I'd want after that. But ETN, uh, 7
And
touchdowns last 4 weeks, at least 22.7 in all of those games. ETN, he's been amazing. He really has. He's averaging he's averaging only 3.9 per carry, but he's got all those touchdowns. So
you know what's crazy to think about right now?
what?
Remember how Big Andy was so high on Tyreek Hill?
Yeah. Well, I was too.
If so would Tyreek Hill have fallen to Big Andy if Norduff didn't take him?
I don't know. Um, Nordiff takes him second overall. Andrew was sixth. So I think Krieger was up after that. Like, what was it? I know you were in there too.
Was
Krieger, Larar, and you. Yeah, I think it's
I feel like
possible. I think,
we would have stuck with our guys that we picked.
yeah. So, but who would Nordiff? Nordiff would have had to take McCaffrey or Chase
Oh yeah,
or
yeah.
Eckler. He would have taken one of the guys who you three took.
Okay,
I,
that's
it,
true.
it probably, it honestly, it probably would have fallen on you. Like, had had it gone Jefferson, let's say Eckler, McCaffrey, Chase, and you're up at five. To me, it would have been Hill there, but you could have gone Kelsey. Were you considering Kelsey?
Uh, I don't even know.
Yeah.
I think I was actually considering Hill or Eckler.
Okay. Yeah, and hey, Hill is who I wanted. I really wanted him. And there was a point like August 1st, I think he was like eighth on the ESPN rankings. I picked ninth. I thought maybe, and then the hype kind of built up, and he ended up maybe fifth or sixth in the rankings. And Nordiff, I mean, he snagged him, and it's been amazing. Hill's been just a freak. You're talking about 25 plus in 6 out of 8 games. That's
Crazy.
fun. Yeah, him and ETN, they've been fantastic. Keenan Allen has slowed a bit lately, but still solid. He's just not doing that absurdity that he had early on in the season. Uh, Thielen's still producing. It's
That makes no
unbelievable.
sense to me. That's
I don't get it either.
he's gonna get hurt or something.
Or he'll just maybe slow down because of his age. But hey, you just fucking keep riding this. Or I don't know. Oh no, AirPods died, or at least one of them did. You could still hear me?
I can still hear you.
All right. Uh, yeah, we'll see with Thielen. It's been amazing. He's been the pickup of the year so far, but especially just because of the consistency. Like that's the difference between him and Nakua, who have both they've produced about the same total, but
Mhm.
Thielen way more consistent. Goddard was fine, nothing great, but fine. James Cook, this is frustrating because he has been good real life. Like he's the opposite of all these other fucking guys who they average like 3.5 per carry, but they make it up with touchdowns and receptions. James Cook is averaging 4.8 per carry,
But it only
but he
has
only
two
has
times.
he only has two touchdowns. He only has 18 receptions, and that's why I stayed away from him. I actually, and it was a mistake. I took Miles Sanders over him, which was a horrible, horrible pick. But the reason I did that was because I thought Josh Allen is going to get all the goal line.
Yeah.
Josh Allen does not really check it down very much because he would rather run. And it's created this situation. Then, of course, you have the aggravation of Latavius Murray. Now they sign Leonard Fournette. Like Cook is fine. Don't get me wrong. He's a fine running back too. And Nordiff's team is great.
Yeah.
When that's your weak spot, you're in good shape. But it's just annoying because if Cook was getting more high value touches, Nordiff's team could be basically unstoppable right now. Also, Lamar Jackson was not good for fantasy. He basically didn't run this week. He only had 17 rushing yards.
Wow.
Yeah, a little bit shocking there. That's a season low. One touchdown. The touchdowns went to Gus Edwards, who had three of them.
Gus.
Big Gus. Okay, well, that's that. Nordiff still, despite this, it's not even a down week. 126 is not a down week, but he's still the number one team. Let's go over to the losing side. Andrew. Uh, Joe Burrow was great. Joe
Shitty
Disrespectful. Shitty team.
and guy.
Andrew's
See
gonna
who he's
get
got.
dunked on here.
Nah, I won't dump on him.
He's gotten enough, don't you think?
Yes.
Burrow was really good. Um,
Yeah, he's
if
back,
you're, yeah, he is. He's back, and they're
which is
back.
good.
And I
Good.
thought they were fucked. When they were 1-3, I thought they were fucked. And
I
here you
uh
go.
I actually think they're gonna win the Super Bowl.
Wow, that's actually a legitimate hot take.
Yeah.
Um,
I got them over Philly.
I think the AFC is wide open. Like I am not sold on Kansas City right now. Mahomes is incredible, but like the lack of weapons around him is a problem.
They
Uh,
got Woody today, correct? They didn't go out and do anything.
I don't think they did. No,
Crazy.
I am not. I don't believe in Miami. I think that they're kind of. I think they're the Dallas of the AFC.
Yeah, I would actually put them worse than that. I think Dallas would beat them.
Yeah, it might be. I think they're probably going to play at some point this year too. Let me think.
Yes, they do.
Uh, they do. The two East
Yeah.
divisions play each other this year.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So we'll get to see that matchup at some point. Uh, let's see when that is. Week 16 in Miami.
They're lucky.
Any yeah, Miami hasn't proven anything against a legitimate team yet, but regardless, yeah, no, I think Cincinnati. I don't hate picking them to win the AFC, but man, that to say that they're going to win it all, that's ballsy.
The storyline, the Burrow
It
like
it would
shitty
be a
at the
hell of a
beginning of the
story.
year, them getting hot,
It'd be a hell
him
of a story.
slinging it now. It's
I'd be happy for them. I have no issue with them.
no, I like Burrow a lot.
Outside of that, Amon Ra was predictably great. What a floor he has. He has not scored below 14.2 in any game. Uh,
So
he's amazing. He really, and he's very underrated too. And I
yes,
think it's because he doesn't have that incredible size, like AJ Brown or one of those types of guys. And he just kind of does his thing as more of a possession guy in the middle of the field. And he's just really, really good. Really good hands, really good route runner, and he's an awesome guy to have in fantasy because you just know that there's going to be production every week.
yeah, he's an animal.
Outside of that, the team wasn't, Marquise Brown, I think he got into the end zone. Yeah, that kind of saved a shit day. But yeah, outside of that, it was pretty bad. Bijan Robinson, he did score for the first time in a while, but he only had 11 carries. I don't I mean, game script kind of screwed him, I guess, but like how he didn't catch a pass, I don't. You
It's
just
crazy.
can't be dealing with that offense.
No, I mean it's crazy that he hasn't had a game with 20 plus carries yet.
Is that right?
His
Wow,
biggest his biggest
that's a
workload was 19.
wow. I that's something I didn't. He only has one game above 14 carries.
Yes.
Huh.
That's
Arthur Smith is an idiot.
Art Smith.
He is an idiot,
Art Smith
and
is the downfall of A Train.
he really he's a big reason why. Yeah,
He's got to be a top coach for me.
is that right?
Good coach.
Good coach. Yeah.
Coach.
Alexander Madison sucked
He's a bad
because
player.
he really is. I it's really funny to me that like the couple of times he filled in for Cook over the years, he looked pretty good.
Yeah, he's more of a backup, I think.
Yeah, he's good for a game. And the other thing too, when you look back on it, he faced like multiple times in his spot starts horrible Detroit defenses, like horrible Chicago defenses.
Okay.
So he would it seemed like he always benefited from he'd face a shit team when he got to play. Well,
Right.
now here we go. Darren Waller was the Giants' leading receiver. 1 catch for 4 yards, and then he got injured.
He didn't play like I think he got hurt in the first quarter.
Yeah, yeah,
Got to get some more crack on the sidelines.
unfucking real. Nico Collins down game. Him and Tank Dell have been pretty inconsistent.
Yeah.
Uh, it's to be expected. Rookie quarterback, you're gonna have some bad games. And Andrew, actually, he's going to be leaning on Nico even more after trading Amari Cooper. Did you see that trade?
No.
I kind of like it for both sides. It was
I
it was
got
essentially Amari Cooper for Zach Moss.
oh
Cooper hasn't
yeah.
been good. Cooper hasn't been good. His quarterback refuses to play.
Yeah, his
Deshaun
quarterback.
Watson refuses to play.
He's got to get his massages going.
It tell you what, this is what you give guaranteed money to an asshole, and like he basically is holding them hostage now.
Fuck
There's
him.
nothing they can do.
Fuck him. He deserves to die in a plane crash.
Okay, well, I feel like we were like borderline going to
We
be able
were.
to
We were.
make this
I forgot
public, and
about
then you
that.
did that.
I forgot about that.
This was shockingly going to be public, and now it can't be.
God damn it.
It's a shame. Yeah,
You
you
texted
almost
me
did
and
really
reminded
good.
me. What?
Yeah. Did you say what?
Yeah.
I said you almost did great.
I
You
know.
had
I was
really
doing good.
restrained yourself. Yeah. That's hey, you know what? Of all the people to ruin it on, he's deserving.
Yeah, he is. Fucking asshole, piece of shit.
But yeah, for Andrew, it's been a tough year. We don't need to go any more into it. He knows that, and
He's just so irrelevant that it doesn't matter anymore.
he's hit that level.
Yeah, he's
Hey,
just skipped.
you can't keep piling on. It's no fun to pile on the same guy every week. Like it
Nah.
was actually what was fun was when he had that little bounce back and he got like, he gave like a Andrew was given some false hope there. And then it was fun to hit him that one last time. But now, yeah, now it's just sad.
He's just in the ground and you're just piling
Exactly.
dirt.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's no one wants to be a part of that. All right. Give your power rankings.
I'm gonna go with
Putting you on the spot.
you one, not Thurf two.
All right.
Let me see who else is in this league.
Yeah. Refresh your brain.
Um, who does Sam have?
You know what I just noticed? Both of us have the same just soulless white wall background.
Well, that's because my room is soulless because I'm out of this fucking place. My roommate's a disgrace to mankind.
Is is the roommate there right now?
Oh yeah.
Should have gotten him on here.
Oh, fucking wrap my hands around his neck. Um, where am I at? Three?
Yeah, yeah, you got to name a third. It is tough. I to me, there's kind of a clear three, but I think it's fair to argue a few other teams that have underperformed a bit that you would put above the one I have at three.
I'll go Krieger three.
Yeah.
Um,
Then it gets really tough. The next like 3, 4 spots, there's no separation.
I like my team. I'm gonna give myself four.
It's fair.
I'm gonna go with Larar five,
Wow.
Heat six,
Okay.
Sam seven.
All right. Yeah, I
Uh,
mean that the top seven is pretty clear, and then
who am I left with?
Horvath, Mecca, Lohan, Colin, Andrew.
I'll go Horvath next.
We got four
Uh,
more.
I'll go. I think. Oh God. I'll go Lohan after that.
All right.
What do I got? Fuck.
Andrew, Colin, Mecca.
I'll go Colin after that. Mecca, Andrew.
Okay. I've got Nordiff, myself, Krieger. I've got Sam fourth. And it really is largely tied to what Sam, first off, I mean, there's the formula, of course. Hashtag the formula. Liked Sam because Sam is third in points scored and Sam has done well in some other shit too, like second matchup record, but also just subjectively, like Sam at full strength is still a real force. Like if
Oh,
he keeps
I'm not
himself
going by
afloat.
I'm not going by his team at full strength. I'm going by the his team right now.
Okay. Yeah, that's
So
valid.
without Justin Jefferson and fucking Kyron Williams.
Yeah. Okay. And the big thing with Sam is going to be this was a huge 2-0 week for him. Like if he stays afloat and then he gets those guys back, he could win the league. But
We also have, I mean, Josh Dobbs has been pretty good this year, but I mean, he's not going to be Kirk Cousins throwing the ball to Justin Jefferson.
it's going to hurt. It will hurt a bit for sure. I have you and Peter tied at fifth. I do this like this seems to happen maybe once or twice a year where two teams are so close that I truly cannot separate them. And
Just flip a
yeah,
coin.
I've got you and Peter tied. If I had to like if you put a gun to my head and you said your life hinges on which team does better, I would pick yours. I would put my life in your team's hands.
Okay. I like
Uh,
that.
but I didn't have that happen. Nobody did that to me, so I kept them tied.
I don't like
I have Lara at seven, but like I said, those four teams, you, Peter, Sam, Lara, I find them to be very interchangeable. And then Horvath eight, Mecca nine, Lohan 10. Colin jumps out of the 12 spot for the first time in a while. Colin's 11, and then Andrew is 12. So everyone's at least 4 and 12 now. And the other thing, too, everybody has at least one second matchup win and at least one second matchup loss. That
Okay.
that became the case during this past week.
Good. Good.
Yeah, it is nice to see. Nordiff's still running away with record if everyone played everyone each week. 71 and 17, 12
Yeah.
games up on me.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it's because I had the bad week and Nordiff really hasn't yet, and Nordiff has also three times been top scoring team.
He's due for a nice injury.
Who do you think it'll be?
Who's on his team again?
Uh, well, he's got Lamar Jackson. That's kind of an obvious pick.
I'm gonna go Jackson Thielen.
Okay, yeah,
Both of them. Both.
like this week.
Within the next 3 weeks.
Okay. The Colts play Carolina this week, and for whatever reason, it's at 4:05. They got the old 4:05 slot like game that will be televised probably in three markets. I think the Giants play at 4 o'clock too against the Raiders.
I don't care.
That'll be another one that'll be on in like three markets. So because Philadelphia, Dallas will be on everywhere.
Oh yeah. That's gotta be 425, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. Well, I like that. I'm glad both of us were in costume for this.
Yeah. I thought you would have something on, and I did not expect that.
You didn't expect the
I don't when he turned to the side.
yeah, the beak. I don't like that it I don't like that it exposes if this was a legitimate, because the bubonic plague was very contagious and
Yeah.
very deadly and wiped out like an absurd amount of the population. But this I would not be exposed. I would be completely covered. But then if I had done that, I wouldn't be able to speak very well. So,
Would you, if the plague was going on right now, would you be dead?
uh, I do wonder what I would be like in an apocalyptic world, and I think I'd give up pretty quick. Like I think about like The Walking Dead. I just think about like what are you even living for?
You wouldn't be Daryl?
Daryl Dick? No, I couldn't be Daryl. I'm not tough enough to be Daryl, but I could see myself just kind of like I would need to find some purpose.
Would you be
Someone to
Shane?
no, I wouldn't go nuts like that. I don't know who I'd be out of those characters. I could see myself being kind of like Dale,
Okay.
but Dale
Jesus.
died. Dale died quick, and I think I would probably die quick because I would
Okay.
just be like, this world is a fucking cesspool. Like that's what happened to Dale. He was like, what do we even do? We've become animals. But I would be more like, I wouldn't necessarily so much be like we've become animals. It would just be like, what are we even going on for? Like,
Would you be in
uh,
Bizarro?
I, I, part of me would maybe get some joy out of it, but then, yeah, it would quickly become really depressing. So, yeah, I don't, and yeah, as far as the plague goes, I don't know, like an illness related apocalypse. I think I would probably try to stay indoors as long as possible, but I'm not really a prepper. So, like for example, if there was like a plague right now, like if it came up on the screen right now, like the world's fucked. You go outside, you're gonna fucking die. I'd be done. Like I have nothing. I have a fucking cucumber and a fucking bowl of soup in my refrigerator. I'm fucked. Okay, I'd have to get out there to get some sort of. I'd probably go like 3 4 days without eating. Um,
Think you could do
and
that?
I do. I think I could go about three, and then I would have to. I'd use my cucumber probably
What would you
or
use it
some.
on?
I would just eat it. Some
Uh,
nourishment. Uh, I have like a bottle of salad dressing. I'd probably drink that. That would provide something. And then I have some other like liquids. I guess I could. I have like
would you try,
strawberry jam.
would you try to get as much liquor as possible?
Oh, I have that here. I do have some of that. I have a bottle of. No, I don't have a bottle of Absolute vodka anymore. That's right. I took that with me 2 weekends ago and consumed it. And I brought that on the trip to Bal Cuomo's wedding.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, that was gone quick.
I got one other bottle in there that I haven't even opened. I've had for like 3 months. I think it's Jack Daniels.
Good.
And I also got a 6 pack of Line and Kugel back in August, and I've only had three of them.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's not that bad.
yeah, I'd be able to. I mean that would actually, what? It's funny you bring that up because in that apocalyptic setting, that's probably all I would be doing is drinking. You just gotta, and that's probably why I would die quick because I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna go outside. Yeah, yeah, big tough zombies out there, and then I would just get eaten,
Yeah, yeah. No, I know. I know you would.
and then I'd be roaming the streets as a zombie,
You would. You would.
and maybe you or someone would see me, and you'd be like, holy fuck, look at that scumbag there, and then I would hope that somebody would care enough about me to just to
Put
end
you
my
down.
misery. And yeah, put like a, and I wouldn't want to be shot. I would want like just like a pickaxe through the skull or something.
Bludgeon.
Yes, bludgeon me.
Okay. All right, that's good to
Okay.
know.
Yeah, no, this was a very good discussion, and it got me thinking about things.
Good.
All right. Well, I'm going to end this now. So thank you for being on.
Thank you for having me. Happy Halloween.
Absolutely. Yes. Happy Halloween, everybody. And see you in a week. Goodbye.
Bye.